What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are at Fargo Hector International Airport for the 14th airport update for the month of April 2026. Flight repositionings are the main theme for this update, quite a few of them here, and also some delays to go with them. So we're going to go ahead and get started down at Gate 5, one of our few regularly scheduled flights in this update, and we'll start off at Gate 5, the Allegiant A319, which came in from Nashville as Flight 1961. This arrived in at 2:44 p.m., about 24 minutes early there, so not too bad for Allegiant. Using the new Panda model release that I got a few weeks ago once again. Love having this thing. It'll be a nice top pick for the Allegiant 319s moving forward. I'll still use my Gemini one on occasion, but only if I need a second Allegiant 319 now. Next to that, Delta with the 321 again, but this is not a regularly scheduled flight. This is actually one of the, I'd assume this is a repo flight based on the flight number. This is flight 9961 from Minneapolis. Kind of interesting there. But this arrived in 37 minutes late from its 11 o'clock in the evening or night scheduled arrival time. So not sure what happened there that caused those circumstances, but hey, kind of cool to get a Delta 321 in from MSP, which they've predominantly been on the 739s for the main line. And over at Gate 7, American Eagle with the Embraer 175, regularly scheduled service from DFW, arriving in his flight 3450 and Envoy service, and this arrived in at 9:33 p.m., 28 minutes early. Then down over at Gates 8 and 9, it's all United once again. United A320 on the regularly scheduled service from Denver. This arrived in as flight 1126 at 8:59 p.m., just 13 minutes late. And then our last aircraft at the terminal, obviously only 5 gates, but we'll be seeing that number doubled once the existing portion reopens after the renovations in about a year's time. We have the CRJ 550, not on a regularly scheduled service, but coming in from Little Rock, Arkansas. It's flight 3992, and this arrived in about 2 hours late. And this is a matching reg as well, 504 Golf Juliet, the first Gemini United CRJ 550 release. They've done the second one, which I don't really need, but I know a lot of collectors are very happy to see that second release come out. So interesting setup with the repo flights and various other things going on. There were several more on the schedule that I saw, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm probably not going to be able to go back too far in time now to really check on that, but I think there was like one that came in from somewhere in the south, and then there was another one from somewhere east. I think that's what I remember seeing on the flight board, but other than that, it's kind of interesting to see all the repo flights, but there's a big storm system that came in last weekend, and that did cause some flight disruptions across much of the central portion of the country with a good mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, all that good stuff. Typical makings of a late winter / early spring storm system. And then our last aircraft overall, another regularly scheduled flight, Frontier once again, the E321neo, coming in from Denver as flight 4794, and this arrived in at 1:26 p.m., 17 minutes early. So that is all the aircraft we have at Fargo, our 14th update overall. And not too bad of a setup once again. The gate setups are approximate. I still don't have satellite imagery at this point. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no newer imagery that I have right now for the Fargo Hector Airport. Kind of wish I did, but I've noticed with Google Earth as of late, it's like every time I zoom in on the map, it will revert to older imagery. It's very annoying when it does that, because if it shows there's newer imagery, but then I zoom in again, it just reverts to older imagery. So Google really needs to fix that and see if they can get that addressed as soon as possible. But as for our route roundup, I need the annoying pop-ups to get out of my way so that I can do this properly. Heading down to Minneapolis for this month, 2 739s on the main line, and then a good mix of the regionals once again. May is looking to be of a similar setup. Down to O'Hare for American. They're going 3 to 4 daily, mostly with the E-Jets. And then United will be mostly CRJs, all 550s. And then I'm seeing the Canada Air CRJ. I'm assuming that might be the 450 because they are going to be debuting that very soon, so I would not be surprised if we see the 450s coming into play. But obviously, exterior-wise, they're not much different than the regular 200, as is the 550 with the 700, but we'll definitely be utilizing the CRJ 200 model that I have already, since I have had that for several years now. Down to Nashville with Allegiant. They're doing Sunday, Thursday, twice weekly. That will end in November. And then Atlanta, the daily 175, still going strong. Happy to see that service for them. Orlando Sanford, Monday, Friday, that will end in August. And then St. Petersburg for Allegiant, that will end May 10th, last day of service then on a Sunday, which will be a MAX 8. Over to DFW, no changes to report 3 daily of the Embraer 175s. Again, wish that they would get mainline. Frontier, a little bit sporadic, going up to 4 weekly later in April, and then they're doing 5 weekly in May. So moving around quite a bit there with the schedule. Allegiant almost daily, but then they'll drop the Tuesday service heading into May, mostly A320 there. And then our Phoenix Sky Harbor service for American, the seasonal service ending April 7th. So this will have already ended by the time this video comes out. It would have been the Tuesday, the week of this video being posted. And then lastly, Las Vegas, Monday, Wednesday, Friday setup, A319s all throughout the schedule, and then down to 2 weekly with the Wednesday service dropped by middle of May. So that is Fargo, update number 14, our second with the expansion piece all set up and ready to go. We'll be looking forward to using this portion of the diorama once again, once that does reopen in a little bit of time. But liking the setup so far, and once I get satellite imagery that is accurate and loads correctly, I will adjust these gates as I see them as they are placed. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.